I'm Inspector Creed. I'm perfectly happy with you filming. No
Fine.
problem with you filming whatsoever.
Cool.
It's just the fact that you're on the police premises here.
Yeah,
and
but
we do ask the public to remain on the
Yeah,
public
there's no
area.
signage. There's no signage. There's nothing blocking me
Well, you've
from
just
stopping me from walking round.
Well, there is a barrier there.
Yeah, that's for
and there's
cars.
a fence there.
That's for cars. I didn't jump over anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can help you with at all?
Yeah, you can stop abusing my rights and let me film. That's what you said.
I'm not stopping you filming.
Okay then.
No problem with you filming
Well, I
at
can
all.
film in the car park. There's nothing stopping me from filming in the car park.
As part of our insurance reasons, as well as the security of the site, we don't allow members of the public on here. So that's why I'm asking you to leave and move out onto the public area. You can either go out here or you can go onto the public access area there. It's entirely up to you.
The inspector's very first move is to accuse Yardley of being on private police premises. But Yardley quickly exposes how weak that claim is. He points out the obvious: there are no signs, no warnings, nothing to suggest the land is restricted. In law, members of the public cannot be treated as trespassers unless restrictions are made clear. Access must be obvious and visible, not based on vague assumptions. When the inspector tries to cling to the idea of a barrier, Yardley shuts him down again. It's a car barrier, not a pedestrian one, and he never climbed or forced his way in. Walking through an open, unmarked space is lawful. Trespass only applies when someone knowingly goes where they're not allowed. In this case, the inspector had nothing to point to. After clearing that up, Yardley moves behind the gate into the area the inspector confirmed was fine to film from, but he's quickly confronted by two hostile officers, escalating matters unnecessarily.
Listen, stop talking to me. No, I'm not going to listen to you. And if you touch me, right, that's going to be an assault as well. So just look, you've got your hands up. You've got your hands up. Right, so excuse out of my way, please. Excuse out of my way. Excuse out of my way.
You can film.
Oh, listen to me. Please get out of my way. Please get out of my way. Get out of my way. Let me
The Chief
pass.
Constable holds the right to restrict your access, okay? You're more than welcome to film on the public bits, but we can't have you filming by the gate, obviously, because it's got a keypad, okay, which is a private
I'm not listening
access.
to what you're saying. You're just talking. No, I'm not. You're talking to yourself, and I'm going forward. And I'm going forward. Do not listen. Listen, you're standing right in front of me.
I'm saying right.
Right, so I'm. Why not?
Because it's an implied right of access.
No,
We have
listen.
the right to remove
I've got
you.
a. No. I've
We have the right
got
to
a right
remove
of
you.
access. I've been told. Okay,
No.
by an
Yeah, you
inspector. By an inspector.
And this right of
Okay.
access is now being revoked.
No, we'll go and get an inspector to revoke it because I've been told that I've been told by an inspector that I can film here.
I don't need an
No,
inspector to
well,
revoke.
I've been told that I can film here.
What I am happy
I've
to
been
do.
told. No. Listen.
told you what's upsetting you.
Nothing. Well, you're upsetting me because you're not doing your job. He just went and threatened me.
Right, but the reason I hear...
No. He just went and threatened.
The officers tried to push Yardley back from the gate, even though he was clearly standing on public land. One officer wrongly claimed that the implied right of access gave them power to remove him. That was completely false. Implied access only applies when members of the public step onto private property for a lawful purpose, such as visiting a house. It does not apply to someone on public ground, meaning the officers had no legal authority to move him at all. Yardley reminded them that the inspector had already confirmed he could stand there, which should have ended the matter. Instead, the situation escalated when an officer insisted that right had now been revoked. Only the landowner or someone with legitimate authority can revoke access, and Yardley wasn't even on private land. By dismissing the inspector's decision, the officer exposed how reckless and uninformed his approach truly was.
He just went and threatened me. So you're telling me somebody can threaten you anywhere, but all you're worrying about is me not filming in a place
At
of...
the moment, yes.
Yeah. Why?
Correct.
Who started the initial crime? Who initially evoked a
At the
crime?
moment, I'm here because you're here.
No.
Filming in a place you're
Well, you
not allowed
shouldn't
to
be.
film.
You should be after that guy first because he's getting away. Who is he?
At the moment, I
Who's
don't
that
know.
bloke?
I don't know.
Why don't you know that?
Because I don't work with him.
So how are you going to find him?
Well, we've got CCTV, I'll identify
Okay.
that, okay?
Oh, you will do
what
that.
I'm more concerned about at the moment...
No, I'm not going nowhere. I've been
that
told
you
that I
can't
can film it. I can.
You can, but you
I can
can't
film
film
it.
here.
I can film it. No, and I'm telling you that I've been told by an inspector that I can film here.
inspector was it that
Okay,
told
Inspector
you?
Creed. Okay? Now, off you go, because this is what he said, okay? I can film here. So unless another inspector comes down and wants to tell me that, No, I'm not going to take it from you.
I have the right to tell you can't film it.
No, you're not going to supersede the inspector because he told me that I can film it.
Okay, from my sergeant and from my inspector.
No.
I've been told
Which inspector? Who's the inspector?
Inspector Cutter.
Okay, where's Inspector Cutter?
He's in the building.
Okay, we'll go and get Inspector Cutter to come out and tell me.
Because I'm asking you.
No, and I'm politely refusing and I'm declining because I've already been told by Inspector Creed that I can film here. So
we have.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Overrule that.
I don't believe you.
The exchange shows just how far the officers were willing to twist the truth. Yardley kept pointing out that Inspector Creed had already confirmed he could film from that spot, which should have ended the discussion. Instead, one officer claimed another inspector had said otherwise, but refused to produce them when asked. When Yardley again mentioned Inspector Creed, the officer went further, declaring, "We have the right to overrule that." That statement is absurd. A constable cannot overrule an inspector. The rank structure does not work that way, and the law certainly doesn't bend to personal opinion. Filming in public is lawful, and no officer, regardless of rank, has the authority to rewrite that.
Anyway, do you know something? You're trying to talk, right? And I've already told you. No. It's not that you're making sense or not. I've already told you that I'm not allowing you to talk simply because I want you to do something which you haven't done. So therefore, by you carrying on with your waffle, right, I'm giving you that opportunity to talk. But I'm not going to give you that opportunity to talk, so I'm going to stop you right there. When an inspector comes out, then he can tell me that. I'll tell him that what Inspector Creed says. We'll have that discussion there. Because as far as I'm concerned, I have been given the right to film here. No, I'm not talking to you no more. I'm telling you, right? I've just told you.
But why let's have a conversation?
Don't worry about it. All right?
I don't understand why you're being
because I want you to go and sort out this first thing. You're not doing it. You're not doing your job. You're standing there, wasting time, my time, your time, everybody's time.
What I don't know, what's the reason for filming here? That's what I don't think you can, but what's the reason?
Well, it'll be a bit hard to draw stuff, so I've got my camera out.
On body cam footage, the same two officers return to Yardley, threatening arrest if he refuses to leave grasping for charges to silence lawful recording on public land.
What I'm saying to you, okay, all we need to know, or what we're happy with you doing, is filming, obviously outside of the more public areas. That's absolutely fine, don't stop you doing that, okay? All we ask that under section 68 of the Criminal Justice Public Order Act 1994, okay, is not to film.
Are you detaining me?
No, not at the moment. Listen,
are you giving me a caution? Stop telling me to listen.
I'm giving you a warning.
Stop. No. Are you cautioning me?
I'm not cautioning you.
Well then, I don't want to hear no section, nothing. Am I doing anything wrong? Am I doing anything wrong? No. Am I doing anything wrong? Am I doing anything wrong?
Registration plates are doing something wrong.
Listen. Don't tell me that I was filming registrations plates, okay? Get some concrete evidence and then come and start telling me all these things. Otherwise, go away. You keep on. You just did.
I'm telling you, under that section.
Under what section? A section what? Doing what?
Is if you begin to start filming registration plates, keypads, people coming in and out of the building, it's obstructing the day-to-day business.
No, it's not. I'm not obstructing anybody, and I can stand in. Get lost. Do you know something? I can stand in a public place and I can film whatever I want.
Yeah. And we can arrest you for aggravating trespass.
You can't.
Okay.
You can't.
Yes, we can.
Get lost. You can't.
Yeah, we can, and we will do if you carry on.
Section 68 makes it an offense to trespass on private land with the intention of disrupting or obstructing lawful activity. Yardley's situation couldn't have been more different. He was on public ground, filming quietly, and not obstructing anyone. Recording vehicle registration plates is not illegal. They are legally required to be displayed in public view. Suggesting Section 68 applied here demonstrated a shocking lack of understanding of the law. Yet, instead of correcting themselves, the officers doubled down. When Yardley entered the station to lodge a complaint, just minutes later, the same two officers walked in and arrested him under Section 68.
Do these questions relevant?
Oh, just curious so I know how to treat you, what your experience is and what you may or may not know.
I'm not somebody who gets myself into trouble.
Okay, no, that's fine. Right, well, long story short, I'm the Classic Sergeant, so it's my job to look after you here, and I'm sure you're dealt with fairly as well.
Okay.
To that end, I'm going to ask obviously a few questions to find out why you're here, and I've got some questions for you, see how you're doing physically and mentally.
Okay.
Bearing in mind when I ask the officers about why you're here, that is them explaining why they've done what they've done. That is not an allegation to you for you to sort of necessarily reply to, okay? Because otherwise we'll end up in a conversation.
Yardley's arrest under Section 68 wasn't just dismissed in court tight, ended up costing the force a fortune. Yardley himself walked away with £1,500 in damages, but the real sting came in the breakdown of costs. Over £2,000 went to counsel fees, court fees added more, and nearly £5,000 in additional expenses piled on. Once VAT was included, the total climbed close to £10,000. And who foots the bill? not the officers who abused their powers, not the ones who made an unlawful arrest. The taxpayer pays, the public is left covering the mistakes of officers who couldn't be bothered to apply the law correctly. That's the insult added to the injury. When police abuse their powers, it isn't them who suffer consequences. It's us. What makes this worse is how unnecessary the whole legal fight was. If the officers had stuck to facts rather than ego, there would have been no lawsuit, no settlement, and no wasted public money. Instead, they doubled down on an arrest they had no lawful grounds for, forcing the case into court where it collapsed instantly. In the end, settling became the only option left because defending the indefensible would have cost the force even more. This is what happens when officers think their authority outweighs the law. Sooner or later, the law catches up. Let's remember, Yardley was not trespassing. He stood on public land openly filming, bothering no one. And even if he had been on private property, trespass alone isn't a crime, it's a civil matter. To use aggravated trespass under Section 68, you first need actual trespass. The officers couldn't prove that because it never happened. The defense wording makes this crystal clear. If someone isn't a trespasser, Section 68 cannot apply. The law doesn't bend to police opinion. It requires evidence. And here, there was none. Yardley wasn't obstructing, intimidating, or interfering with anything. The officers tried to stretch legislation that simply didn't fit, and the court saw right through it. Here's the bigger problem. Instead of recognizing they had no lawful grounds, the officers tried to frame Yardley's presence as unlawful. Without evidence that isn't just sloppy, it shows a dangerous willingness to treat personal discomfort as if it carried the weight of law. The misuse of Section 68 was a total failure. Aggravated trespass is designed for protest situations, where people deliberately disrupt lawful activity on private property. Yardley was doing neither. To invoke it here wasn't about maintaining order. It was about twisting serious legislation to criminalize behavior that was never criminal in the first place. That's not policing, it's abuse. The arrest itself exposed their true mindset. After being questioned, Yardley walked back inside to make a complaint, which he was entitled to do. Within minutes, those same officers placed him in handcuffs. Nothing had changed in those 5 minutes. No new offense had occurred. The only thing that happened was Yardley challenged their authority. That made the arrest retaliatory, not lawful, stripping away any credibility in their claims of keeping the peace. And then comes the financial fallout. The force had no choice but to settle, paying Yardley compensation alongside thousands in legal costs. Once again, the officers themselves didn't pay a penny. The burden fell entirely on the public. Every taxpayer contributed to cleaning up a mess created by poor judgment and unlawful policing. That's money that could have been spent on genuine policing resources, training, and protecting communities. Instead, it was wasted defending behavior that should never have happened. What this episode really proves is how fragile policing becomes when procedure is replaced with emotion. At every stage, Yardley stayed calm, logical, and firmly within the law. Meanwhile, the officers lurched from one mistake to another until their frustration turned into an unlawful arrest. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Yardley proved that when officers overstep, the law is not on their side. The tragedy is that the cost of their failure doesn't land on them. It lands on us. In the end, Yardley didn't just win in court. He exposed on camera exactly what happens when police try to elevate their opinions above the law. He showed that authority without accountability leads to abuse, and that taxpayers are the ones left paying for those mistakes. This wasn't just about one unlawful arrest. It was about the principle that power must always be checked by law, and when it isn't, the fallout is measured in both money and trust. That's it for today's video. If you found this breakdown useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue this independent coverage. Also, check out Yardley's Ski His channel is linked in the description. Show him some support. Thanks for watching.